My eating disorder really loved rules. All sorts of rules about what I could and couldn't do and what I could and couldn't eat. And so it loved those. It thrived on those.
What used to happen to me was just coming up to the time where I would need to be preparing food, where I would need to be eating. All of a sudden, all the thoughts about you don't need this much, you could manage with less than that, it looks too much, you've made enough for 2 meals, and all this circular thinking started with me. And by the time I'd prepared anything, I'd convinced myself I had enough for 4 meals on my plate.
For a long time, I had this, I would always say, nobody understands me, so nobody can really help me. And then a therapist asked me, well, do you really understand yourself? And I said, I guess not. And she said, so is it really fair for you to blame other people for not understanding you if you can't understand yourself? And I realized that was kind of a cop-out that I had used to block people's support and to say, they can't help me because they don't understand what's important to me or, the way I work.
There is something in your brain, there was something in my brain that put up a resistance so strong that I can't even describe it. The anxiety around picking up the fork or eating that food was an anxiety like none I've ever experienced. Not the same as a panic attack, not the same as anxiety. It was like asking me to jump into a burning fire. It was that strong. The repercussions felt that great. I absolutely couldn't do it. And when people didn't get that, it terrified me.
Well, before I got ill and that, I always had, I had quite a lot of friends when I was at school and that. I was, I interacted with people quite a lot. I was quite chatty. And then when I got ill, I was sort of like, I was preoccupied with my illness. And, part of me just wanted to be with the food and the illness and that and my thoughts. In my mind I would be thinking of food and calculating calories and this and that. So I wasn't really sort of there socially.
So one of the most difficult thoughts for me to challenge when I was trying to reevaluate my thinking was the idea that I deserved to be sick and that I was a horrible person that wasn't worthy of love, wasn't worthy of happiness, wasn't worthy of health. And a lot of things today still perplex me about my eating disorder. There's a lot that I just don't understand and feel like I may never.
The thing about putting yourself out there to eat with other people is people are looking at you and saying, well, she's doing it, so she must be better. My goodness, I'll tell her she's looking better. And all you're hearing in your head is, you look fat. And you've got no control over your eating. You're out of control. So there's the part of you that feels guilty that you put your family and loved ones through hell in watching you starving yourself. But now they're going to be happy for you that you're eating, and you feel terrible. You just don't feel good about it. So it raises an awful lot of uncertainty.
I think that the eating disorder did a really good job of, since it removed me from the relationships that I loved and the people that I loved, and it made me disinterested in the activities that had used to make me proud or give me confidence that I was able to do things well, that as it sort of sucked those positive aspects of my life away, I was left feeling very empty and very worthless, because all of the things that had sort of filled me up and made me feel whole were being taken piece by piece by the eating disorder. And what was left was a person who was not healthy and not confident and not sure what direction to take my life.
I think getting rid of any visual reminder of weight and anorexia is really important. I don't have bathroom scales. I will never have bathroom scales. I will never weigh myself, and I won't want to know my weight. Is really important. As soon as you know the numbers, you want them to be lessened. The fact that you can ruin your bones, get osteoporosis, and you think, oh, it won't happen to me, or when I do get better, I'll put it right. That's not something that you can really put right. I wish someone who'd had anorexia and was recovering, had told me the possible long-term physical repercussions of the illness, and I think maybe then I possibly would have listened more. I think, because people don't tell you, or if they do, you don't listen about the long term. My real bugbear, the kind of problems with your teeth that you have. Then as a woman, and your vanity, you can't reverse that without spending a lot of money.
And one thing that touched me about the whole thing of weight gain and calorie counting and all of that was something that Einstein said. And I wouldn't have expected him to be the most philosophical chap, but he came up with most of life is involved in keeping count of things. What can be counted doesn't always count, and what counts can't be counted.
I think what I would have liked to have known from the beginning, I think one of the most important things to remember is that there is hope. Even if you've been ill for a really long time, and even if you've been really ill, I do believe you can live a life without the symptoms of anorexia. It is possible to get better.